there are very few owners in professional sports that care more about winning than Jerry Jones. Not all the owners, and let's just take the NFL, care about winning like Jerry does. Some would just take their revenue share and be on their way. I'm good. Win a Super Bowl, that'd be nice. But if I don't, I'll take my $255 million cut nationally, and then whatever I can get in local revenue, I'm good with that. But that's not Jerry Jones.
And if we get lucky and break through, we got lucky.
Okay, we got lucky and broke through. Okay. So, okay, we're good. I'll take that. But if we don't, I'll take my $255 also. Here's the question I would have liked to pose. The reporter would have asked Jerry. Jerry, what if winning a Super Bowl meant that your players could kneel for the anthem? You see, Skip, here's the thing with money. See, he could write a check because he's worth $5.6 billion. So money doesn't mean the same thing to him as it do you and I. So he can write a big check and not blink an eye. But in order for it to mean something, it's got to mean something to you. So the flag and the anthem mean so much to you. If you was guaranteed a Super Bowl, would you let your players kneel? That should have been the next question out of his mouth.
I don't know what his answer is. I'm not sure.
Yeah, exactly. You see, Skip, I believe if there wasn't a salary cap in the NFL, Jerry Jones, the Cowboys would be the Yankees. We know the Yankees. Now, they have curtailed that somewhat. Now the Boston Red Sox are the new Yankees. That they spend unlimited trying to assure themselves of a win. But that's the thing about sports, what we love, Skip. There are no guarantees. I don't care how much money you spend. You can think you got the best running back, quarterback, 5 offensive linemen. Doesn't guarantee it. And that's what fans love. That's what we love about sports. The unpredictability of it, the non-guarantee of what we think will happen. So I'm not surprised Jerry said that. You know Jerry better than I do. You're not surprised. Maybe a little bit, because you're like, well, Earl Thomas out there. And it's not, you won't have to write, you have to write a fairly nice sized check because you have to give, have to sign him to a long-term deal. But I'm not surprised Jerry said this. But when it's dealing with money, Skip, because he has so much of it, it wouldn't, if they say, Jerry, you got to write a check for $50 million, you got to write a check for $100 million. Jerry said, okay, tomorrow. No, as a matter of fact, I'm going to wire to your account right now. You guarantee me a Super Bowl? Super Bowl 53, mine. Here's 150 just to make sure you don't back up out of this deal. So I'm not surprised Jerry said that. I don't believe you're surprised either.
I wasn't surprised, but I was just dumbfounded when I first read this quote last night as a longtime Cowboy fan, and now, dare I say, a long-suffering Cowboy fan, because it's been a long time since they won a Super Bowl or even sniffed a Super Bowl.
Right.
And I sat back last night and just shook my head and said, that's the old Jerry talking, but the new Jerry doesn't walk his talk anymore, because the new Jerry Jones is more of just some John Jones or Joe Jones, just some guy, right? He's fallen back into the ranks of those arch-conservative owners, to me, who are more concerned with making money than winning championships, because he's not putting his money where his mouth is, because he's not a plunger anymore. He's not a risk taker. There's no go for broke in this new Jerry.
No.
He appears to be resting on his new Hall of Fame laurels, right?
He did mention that.
Because just when I thought they were on the verge in the offseason and it's time for Jerry to plunge and go get him and write that check for him, they lost out in the bidding for Sammy Watkins, who went to Kansas City. And you brought up Earl Thomas. I just keep waiting and hoping and wishing and waiting, and nothing happens about Earl Thomas, who wants to be a Cowboy, reportedly could be had for a mere second-round pick. Then you'd have to write a check. Obviously, you'd have to pay him top safety money. I don't know, it'd be like $50 million guaranteed. Is that a huge, not a huge check for Jerry. Would that be a Super Bowl making potential move? Yes, it would. Even you agree with that, right?
Yeah.
You'd be a little nervous over there if they signed Earl Thomas.
The defense would be,
but nothing appears to happen, because Jerry seems to sit back and say, I trust my coaching staff. We got a new receivers coach named Sanjay Lal. I trust him. I don't need a new receiver because I got a new receivers coach. Can he play? No, he doesn't get to play. And then he's trusting Will McClay, his new draft master, because we got kids who are going to grow up and become stars. Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe. So they go out in the offseason and they get Tavon Austin, who was considered a bust with the Rams, right?
Yep.
And they get Alan Hearns and Deontay Thompson and various Dayton Joneses and Joe Thomases, just a bunch of guys. And they're all pretty Jihad Ward they trade for. But they're all just guys. You got deeper. Did you get that much better? I don't see it yet. So then it occurred to me, wait a second, Jerry is just talking hypothetically. And I know Jerry's talk because I interviewed him for literally hundreds of hours for the 3 books I wrote on the Dallas Cowboys. And he can really spin those yarns, man. But you have to sift through all the verbiage because sometimes he's just talking out of his head, like you can't figure out where he's going. So I want to remind everybody, he went deeper in this radio interview on his radio gig in Dallas, and he talked about how he was talking about the man above. And I think he's being real about it. I think that's what he believes. He's saying that years ago, I wanted the 3rd Super Bowl. Remember, he had fired Jimmy Johnson after 2 straight, and he hired Barry Switzer. So he wanted Barry Switzer, his coach, to win the 3rd Super Bowl. So he's saying he made a deal not with the devil to sell the soul, wasn't Faustian. He's saying he made a deal with the man upstairs, with God, to say, okay, just give me the 3rd and I'll never ask for anything again. So he's saying...
We've all done it, Skip.
Okay, I haven't done that.
Yeah, hey,
I haven't. But
God, if you get me out of this situation,
I know.
I promise you and a few more gods just like you, I'll never be back in one again.
So Jerry is... He truly believes God gave him the 3rd.
Yeah.
And the quote is, and so I find myself trying to retrade that trade for the last 20-something years. Okay? So when he's talking about writing a check, it's not against the salary cap. It's not for Earl Thomas. He's just doing the hypothetical. Right. If God came to him right now and said, Jerry, I need you to write a $1 billion check for a Super Bowl, would you do it? Well, Jerry's saying, damn right I'd do it, right? Like he'd I don't know how many billions he's worth.
5.6.
Is it 5.6?
5.6.
Okay, would he write a $5 billion check?
No.
I don't know.
I don't want no Super Bowl back. No, I wouldn't let Jerry do that.
Okay, you wouldn't let him, but would he do it? He might.
I think
I'm talking about you got to write it to God. Yeah. You got to give him $5 billion.
No, I'm gonna need. No, you know what? If I'm worth $5 billion and I write that check, I need an entrance to heaven.
Okay.
Damn a Super Bowl.
Okay.
I want to go to heaven.
Yeah, but you're not Jerry Jones.
That's what I'm saying, though, Skip. What good is that? But here's the thing, though, Skip. Think about what the Cowboys had in the 90s. The Cowboys could have been the Patriots before the Patriots were the Patriots.
Absolutely.
The difference is that Mr. Kraft is unconcerned about how he's viewed
or credit.
Credit.
That's the key word is credit. That's the operative word.
He's steady cutting checks.
Yep.
Steady getting Super Bowls. He's unconcerned. Mm-hmm. And people are like, well, Jimmy had gotten to the point where he was just openly and blatantly disrespectful. Well, I can assure you, if Mr. Kraft was having radio shows, TV shows, talking before the game, talking after the game, addressing the team before the coach addressed the team.
You're right.
Coach Belichick probably would have a problem with that.
And you would clash.
Yes.
Just naturally, you would clash because he's going to say something that he doesn't like or vice versa.
Correct.
And they're going to clash in philosophies at some point.
Correct.
But Robert Kraft stays out of the way.
Stays out of it.
Except for one magic moment, right?
Well,
he said, you've got to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. That's the only time I think he's ever meddled or intervened or interjected. Right?
And it was after, think about it, Skip. That was after 4 Super Bowl wins and 7 Super Bowl appearances.
Yeah.
The Cowboys had just gone to 2. They had just gone to 2 and won both of them. And Jerry's like, I need to get some of this because y'all talking too much about Jimmy. Mm-hmm. I need y'all to heap some of that praise on me. I brought the team. And I brought Jimmy in.
The difference was, trust me on this, I was there. I watched it firsthand. Jerry Jones was the GM of that team. And on draft day, he was the final arbiter. He had veto power, and he said he always told me, Al Davis taught me to coach the coach. Mm-hmm. So on draft day, he could say, Jimmy, back off. No, that's too much. Or Jimmy would say, how about this? Okay, go. Right. So he would have final say. Mm-hmm. And he pulled off the Charles Haley trade, and it was a Super Bowl maker.
Right.
That was from Jerry.
Right.
So he wanted credit for that.
Right.
Can you blame him? No. But is it going to fall apart? Yeah.
But you know what got this started is when Jimmy pulled up that Herschel Walker trade. Mm-hmm. That started everything. Because it got you Emmett, it got you Russell Maryland, it got you Woodson, it got you all those. By
the way, they swung and missed on a lot of those, but it didn't matter because they had so many. You could miss.
Yes. Yep. And so that was the thing. Mm-hmm. All Jerry had to do was just stand pat.
Yep.
Just ride this wave, get you by 4 or 5 of them things, And then if you want to blow it up.
But it all came so easily, so quickly for everybody.
It made it look
that
easy.
he thought,
Anybody
this
can
is
do
going to last forever. So I can do whatever I want to do. I can fire.
What's his famous word, Skip?
Well, I know one famous line was 500 coaches can coach this team to a Super Bowl.
Well, Jimmy said, you better get 499 because I'm up out of here.
I know. That's right. and I thought, as much as I love Barry Switzer, but he'd been out of coaching for 2 years and hadn't coached a single down in the National Football League. I thought he was 501 on that list, right? And he did pull it off. But maybe it was from God. I don't know. That's what Jerry says.
Well, that was the best thing to happen because the Cowboys they were about to run roughshod. They were about to do in the 90s what the Patriots have been doing since 2001.
Okay. So where is their Charles Haley move? Where is the Dion move? That by the way, Jerry pulled off Dion. Yeah. That was all Jerry.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the new Jerry.
You know, but a part of me, Skip, is looking at Jerry. Jerry's like, okay, we're the most valuable team in all of pro sports, North America, around the world. We sell more merchandise than anybody.
Yeah.
We're the number one team. More people want to watch us when we're on than anybody. So what, aside his pride of winning a Super Bowl, now, what's the incentive? You're number one in sales. You're number one in merchandise. You're the most valuable franchise. Yeah. How do you get better than one even when you don't win the Super Bowl? Normally teams say, man, if you were to win, the fans will come. Well, the fans come even when they don't win. They still number one in merchandise sale when they don't win.
Yep.
So what's the benefit other than Jerry saying, I want another Super Bowl?
Yeah. So now I'm starting to wonder if Jerry sort of sees the light at the end of the tunnel and he wants to create a new potential dynasty that he could hand down to Stephen, his son, Charlotte, his daughter, and his other sons, and that it will go on in perpetuity, built the correct way. Right. So they're like building from the bottom right now with no plunges, no risky moves. And so it starts to make me wonder, I don't know how much he cares about winning this year as opposed to long-term so that he builds it the right way.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. You got two of your best players, you believe, on rookie deals. Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott. Normally teams, you look at what Philadelphia did when Carson Wentz. They plunged. They went and got Alshon.
They did.
They went and got some big-name players to put around it because they know. You know, Skip, when that balloon payment come due, that's a $30 million, that's $100 million fully guaranteed. So you better go ahead and plunge while you got Zeke and Dak on these rookie deals. Because that second contract, you're going to have to blow it up. Yeah. There's no way you can keep those offensive linemen on their salaries and pay Zeke and pay Dak. What you going to do with DeMarcus Lawrence, Skip? He wants bread. He wants long paper.
Yep.
And he just saw what Geno Atkins got.
I know.
Geno Atkins in his 30s and got 16.3 a year.
He's earned it.
Jerry, you about to write a big check and not be guaranteed the Super Bowl because you about to have to pay some of them on your roster.
Yep.
Realistically, how far away are they from winning a Super Bowl?
Skip, I don't know, Skip, how far away are they?
Earl Thomas.
Hold on to him, Seattle. Don't let him go.